All right, so let's jump into something a little different today.
Okay.
Ginger.
Okay.
We all have it, sitting around in our kitchens. But
Right.
I think this is a really cool deep dive because there's so much to this little root that I don't think a lot of people know about.
Right.
We've got a stack of articles here
Yeah.
all about ginger, and we're going to uncover its history, its health benefits,
Yeah.
and even some practical ways that you can actually use it.
You know, it's funny. Ginger is so common, but it has this incredible 5,000-year history.
Wow.
In ancient India and China, it was practically a universal medicine.
A universal medicine.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big claim.
It is.
What did they think it could do back then?
Well, almost everything, apparently. They used it for nausea, digestion, respiratory problems,
Okay.
even inflammation.
Wow.
And you know what? A lot of those uses are being backed up by modern research.
No, it's not just an old wives' tale. There's actual science
Exactly.
behind it.
Take its anti-inflammatory properties, for example. Okay. Ginger contains these compounds, gingerols and shogails, that have been shown to reduce inflammation throughout the body. It's not just masking the pain, it's actually working on a cellular level.
That's really interesting.
Right.
I've used ginger, if I have an upset stomach,
Yeah.
but I never really thought about the fact that it could be fighting inflammation at the same time.
Yeah.
What about those other traditional uses? Like,
Right.
is there evidence that any of that stuff is actually true?
There's actually quite a bit of research on ginger's effects on nausea,
Oh.
especially for morning sickness, motion sickness, even the nausea that comes with chemotherapy.
Oh.
It seems to work by blocking certain receptors in the brain that trigger that queasy feeling.
So it's sort of intercepting those signals
That's exactly.
before they can even make you feel sick.
Yeah, before they even get there.
That's pretty impressive.
It is, and it's generally much gentler on your system than some of those over-the-counter nausea medications.
Oh, for sure.
You know?
Okay, let's get to the part I think we can all relate to.
Right.
Digestion.
Yes.
I know I always feel a bit sluggish after a big meal.
Absolutely.
Does ginger actually help with that?
Ginger's been used for digestive issues for centuries, and research is starting to understand why. It seems to work in a few ways. First, it can stimulate the production of digestive enzymes, which help your body break down food more efficiently.
So it's like giving your stomach a helping hand.
Right. And it can also help reduce gas and bloating by relaxing the muscles in your digestive tract.
So you're not so uncomfortable.
Right.
Okay, so we've got nausea, we've got inflammation, and we've got digestion.
Right.
Is there anything this root can't do?
Well, it wouldn't go that far,
Okay.
but it does have a surprisingly wide range of potential benefits.
Okay.
There's some promising research on its effects on cardiovascular health, for example.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me more about that.
It seems that ginger might play a role in lowering cholesterol levels.
Wow.
Specifically the bad LDL cholesterol, while boosting the good HDL cholesterol. And there's some evidence it can help improve blood circulation as well.
So it's good for your heart, too.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see why they called it a universal medicine.
And there's even more.
What?
Researchers are looking into its potential for regulating blood sugar,
Okay.
relieving menstrual cramps,
Wow.
and even reducing the frequency of migraines.
That's a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
So we've got all these potential benefits.
Yeah.
But what's the best way to actually get ginger into your system? I mean, I can't imagine just like chomping on a raw root all day long.
No. Don't worry. There are more palatable ways to enjoy ginger. It really comes down to personal preference and what you're trying to achieve.
Okay.
The most common forms you'll see are fresh ginger root, ginger powder, ginger tea, ginger essential oil, and ginger supplements.
Okay, so let's break those down a little bit.
Sure.
Starting with fresh ginger root.
Okay.
What are the pros and cons there?
Fresh ginger is great because it's the most versatile. You can use it to make tea. You can add it to stir-fry smoothies.
Yeah.
Even grate it into salad dressings.
Okay.
It really packs a punch in terms of flavor.
Yeah.
The downside is that it can be a bit more work to prepare, and it doesn't last as long as some of the other forms.
Yeah, I've definitely had some ginger go bad in my refrigerator before I could use it all.
Right, exactly.
What about ginger powder? When would you use that?
Ginger powder is a convenient option.
Okay.
It's more concentrated, so you use less of it.
Okay.
And it's great for adding to baked goods, smoothies, or sprinkling on top of dishes.
Okay.
It's also a good choice if you're traveling, since it's less bulky than fresh ginger.
Right. And then I'm guessing ginger tea is pretty self-explanatory.
Pretty self-explanatory. Ginger tea is incredibly soothing, especially when you're feeling under the weather.
Right.
It's a classic remedy for colds and sore throats, and it can also help with nausea and digestion.
I love ginger tea. It's so comforting.
It is.
Now, ginger essential oil. I'm curious about this one. I've heard good things,
Yeah.
but I haven't actually tried it myself.
Ginger essential oil is interesting because it can be used both aromatically and topically.
Okay.
So in aromatherapy, it's often diffused to create a calming and invigorating atmosphere. And it's said to help with headaches and focus.
Okay.
You can also dilute it with a carrier oil and apply it topically to relieve muscle aches and pains.
Oh, wow. So it's like a little more multi-purpose.
Exactly.
Okay. And then what about supplements? When would someone choose to take a supplement as opposed to, using it in one of these other ways?
Supplements can be a good option if you're looking for a consistent dose of ginger or have a specific health concern you're trying to address. They come in capsules or tablets, and they're often standardized to provide a specific amount of active compounds.
So if you were looking to manage your blood sugar
Exactly.
or reduce inflammation,
Right.
that's when a supplement might make more sense.
Exactly. But it's always important to talk to your doctor before starting any new supplement, especially if you're taking other medications.
Yeah, that's a really good point. You don't want to just start mixing things without talking to your doctor first.
Exactly.
Okay.
Good advice.
So we've got fresh ginger powder,
Right.
ginger tea, essential oil.
Yep.
And supplements.
That's it.
A lot of different ways to get your ginger fixed.
A lot of ways to get your ginger.
I like it.
I like it.
But now that we know all these different ways to take it, I want to actually hear more about the benefits and how those benefits have been researched.
Let's do it. So we've explored some of the ways to use ginger.
Right.
But I think it's time we take a step back and really appreciate its incredible journey through time.
I love that. Yeah, you mentioned earlier that it's been used for 5,000 years.
I did.
So I'd love to hear more about its history.
Yeah.
Where did it all begin?
Ginger is believed to have originated in Southeast Asia, where it was used both as a culinary spice and a traditional medicine. It's deeply woven into the cultures and cuisines of that region.
It's amazing to think that something that we just, buy at the grocery store
I know.
has such ancient roots.
Absolutely. Imagine those early explorers and traders encountering ginger for the first time.
Yeah.
Is the unique flavor and aroma.
Yeah.
Must have been a revelation.
And probably quickly became a hot commodity.
Oh, you bet. Ginger played a significant role in the spice trade,
Wow.
which connected the East and West for centuries. It was traded alongside other prized spices like cinnamon cloves and pepper. You know those ancient texts that referred to ginger as a universal medicine?
Yeah.
They weren't kidding.
So how did this Southeast Asian spice make its way to the rest of the world?
Well, the spice trade played a huge role in that.
Okay.
Arab traders brought ginger to the Mediterranean region, where it was embraced by the Greeks and Romans.
I can only imagine how excited they must have been to experience those flavors.
I know, it's just something so different. And it wasn't just the taste, though.
Oh, really?
The Romans, in particular, were known to use ginger extensively for its digestive benefits.
Okay.
They even incorporated it into elaborate feasts to help with digestion.
Clever. So we've talked about, its history and its travels.
Yeah.
But what about the plant itself? What exactly is ginger?
That's a great question. Ginger, or Zingiber officinale to be scientific, is a flowering plant that belongs to the Zingiberaceae family.
Wow.
Which means it's related to other spices like turmeric and cardamom.
Oh, so they're all part of the same spicy family.
They are. I never knew that.
What's interesting is that the part we use the ginger root isn't technically a root at all.
Oh.
It's actually a rhizome, which is an underground stem that grows horizontally.
So the ginger that we buy in the store is a stem.
It is.
That kind of blows my mind.
I know, right? It's strange to think about. But those rhizomes are packed with all those beneficial compounds that give ginger its distinct flavor and medicinal properties. Okay, I'm starting to see why this is so fascinating.
Yeah.
So we talked a bit before about the different forms of ginger that you can buy.
Right.
But I'd love to hear sort of your perspective on, which ones are best for what.
Of course. When it comes to choosing the right form of ginger, it really depends on your individual needs and preferences. Let's start with fresh ginger root.
Yeah, fresh ginger is my go-to when I'm cooking. I love to use it in stir fries and curries.
It's had such a nice spice.
Yeah.
Fresh ginger is fantastic for its versatility. You can grate it, slice it, juice it, or even candy it.
Oh, wow.
It's great for teas, marinades, and even desserts.
Oh, I didn't know you could candy ginger.
You can.
Speaking of tea, I have to admit, a warm cup of ginger tea is like my ultimate comfort drink,
I love it.
especially if I'm not feeling well.
And there's a good reason for that. Ginger tea is incredibly soothing, especially for colds, sore throats, and nausea.
Yeah.
It's a time-tested remedy that's been passed down through generations.
Now, what about ginger powder? When would you recommend that over fresh ginger?
Ginger powder is incredibly convenient.
Okay.
It's more concentrated than fresh ginger, so a little goes a long way.
Mm.
It's perfect for adding to smoothies, baked goods, or even savory dishes like soups and stews.
Okay.
And it's travel-friendly,
Yes,
which is a big plus for a lot of people.
for sure.
You can easily pack a small container of ginger powder in your bag without the hassle of carrying fresh ginger. Now let's talk about ginger essential oil,
Okay.
which is a whole different experience.
Yeah, I've heard amazing things about ginger essential oil. I've never actually tried it myself.
You should. Ginger essential oil is a powerhouse.
Okay.
You can use it aromatically for its uplifting and invigorating scent.
Mm.
It's often diffused to relieve headaches and improve focus.
I've been trying to get into aromatherapy lately, so maybe I'll have to give that a try.
You should. It's believed to have a warming effect that can be very soothing, especially during colder months.
Okay.
And remember, you can also use ginger oil topically.
Topically?
Yeah.
As in, like, on your skin?
That's right. But always remember to dilute essential oils before applying them to your skin. You can mix a few drops of ginger essential oil with a carrier oil, like coconut or almond oil,
Okay.
and massage it onto sore muscles or joints.
So it's like a natural pain reliever.
It can be. Many people find it helps to reduce inflammation and ease muscle tension.
Okay, that's definitely going on my list of things to try.
Good.
Now, what about ginger supplements?
Okay.
Who are those best suited for?
Ginger supplements are a good option for those who want a consistent dose of ginger,
Okay.
or don't enjoy the taste, but still want the benefits. They come in various forms like capsules, tablets, and even gummies.
So if you're looking to manage a specific health concern,
Right?
like inflammation or blood sugar,
Exactly.
supplements are a good way to go.
Precisely. Supplements provide a standardized dose of ginger, which can be helpful for targeting specific health needs.
It seems like there's truly a form of ginger for everyone.
There really is.
This has been a fascinating exploration of ginger's journey through time in its many forms.
It has.
So we've covered a lot of ground already, from ginger's ancient origins to all the different ways that you can take it.
We have.
But now I want to really dig into the science behind its health benefits.
Yeah.
So you mentioned earlier that there's a growing body of research that actually supports what people have been saying about ginger for thousands of years.
That's right.
So let's start with something we touched on earlier, which is inflammation.
Okay.
You mentioned that ginger contains compounds that actually reduce inflammation throughout the body. So how exactly does that work?
Ginger contains these powerful compounds called gingerols and shogaels, which have been shown to inhibit the production of inflammatory chemicals in the body. It's not just about masking the pain. Ginger is actually working on a cellular level to modulate the inflammatory response.
So it's like a targeted approach to inflammation.
Yeah, very precise.
It's not just sort of throwing a blanket over the fire.
Right, it's going right to the source. And this anti-inflammatory action is one of the reasons ginger is so effective for conditions like arthritis, muscle pain, and even certain types of headaches.
And you also talked about ginger's ability to alleviate nausea.
Yes.
Are there specific situations where it's been particularly helpful?
Research has shown that ginger can be incredibly effective for various types of nausea, including morning sickness, motion sickness, and even the nausea associated with chemotherapy. It seems to work by blocking certain receptors in the brain that trigger those unpleasant feelings.
It's amazing that something so natural can have such a profound impact on something as complex as nausea.
I know it is. And the beauty of it is that ginger is generally well tolerated, especially compared to some conventional anti-nausea medications, which can have a lot of side effects.
Right. Okay, let's move on to something that I think we all experience from time to time.
Okay.
Which is digestive discomfort.
Right.
So, bloating, gas, and digestion. Can ginger actually help with that stuff?
Ginger has been used for digestive issues for millennia, and now science is starting to uncover why it's so effective. It seems to stimulate the production of digestive enzymes, which help break down food more efficiently.
Okay.
And it also relaxes the muscles in your digestive tract, reducing gas and bloating.
So it's like giving your digestive system a gentle nudge in the right direction.
Exactly. And because it works on multiple levels, it can be helpful for a wide range of digestive complaints.
Okay. So earlier we also talked about ginger's potential benefits for cardiovascular health.
Right.
Can you tell me a little bit more about what research has shown there?
Sure. There's growing evidence that ginger can play a role in improving heart health. Studies have shown that it can help lower LDL cholesterol, which is the bad cholesterol,
Okay.
and raise HDL cholesterol, the good cholesterol.
So it's good for your cholesterol levels, which of course is hugely
It's
important
important.
for preventing heart disease.
Absolutely. And some research suggests that ginger can also help improve blood circulation, which is essential for overall cardiovascular health.
Another area we talked about was blood sugar.
Yes,
And you mentioned that ginger might have some impact on blood sugar regulation,
it might.
which obviously is a big deal for people with diabetes or who are at risk of developing diabetes.
Right.
So what have scientists discovered in that area?
There's some promising research indicating that ginger may help improve insulin sensitivity and lower blood sugar levels. It's thought to enhance glucose uptake by cells and improve insulin signaling.
Wow, that's really encouraging for people who are struggling to manage their blood sugar.
It is, but it's important to emphasize that more research is needed in this area. Ginger should not be considered a replacement for conventional diabetes medications.
Right.
And anyone with diabetes should consult their doctor before incorporating ginger into their regimen.
Absolutely. Talk to your doctor first.
Yes.
Okay. So speaking of conditions that, need to be managed carefully,
Yeah.
the articles also talked about ginger potentially being helpful for menstrual cramps.
It can be.
What's the science behind that?
Several studies have investigated ginger's effectiveness in reducing menstrual cramps, and the results are quite promising. Research suggests that ginger can be as effective as some over-the-counter pain relievers in reducing menstrual discomfort.
Wow. That's really great news for people who experience those really awful cramps every month.
I know it can be debilitating. Ginger's anti-inflammatory and analgesic properties likely contribute to its pain-relieving effects in this context.
Okay. And then one last one I want to touch on is migraines.
Okay.
The articles mention that ginger might be able to help with migraines.
Right.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Sure. There's emerging research suggesting that ginger may help reduce both the frequency and severity of migraines. It's thought to work by blocking the production of prostaglandins, which are compounds involved in inflammation and pain pathways in the brain.
That's really promising because migraines can be so debilitating. So anything natural that people can use
I know.
to find some relief is great.
Absolutely. However, as with any natural remedy, more research is needed to fully understand ginger's mechanisms of action and its long-term effects on migraines.
Okay. So we've covered so much today from, ginger's history to the science behind it
We have.
to all the different ways that you can actually take it. It seems like this little root is really a powerhouse.
It is. It really is remarkable.
So as we wrap up this deep dive on ginger, what are some key takeaways that you'd want to leave our listener with?
First and foremost, ginger is a versatile and potent natural remedy with a long history of medicinal use backed up by a growing body of scientific evidence.
Okay.
It's effective for nausea, inflammation, digestive issues, menstrual pain, and potentially even more serious conditions like heart disease and diabetes.
And of course, as we always say, it's always a good idea to talk to your doctor before you start incorporating anything new into your diet
Absolutely.
or your health routine.
Especially if you're taking medications or have any underlying health conditions.
We always want to make sure everybody's being safe.
Absolutely. Safety first.
So we've talked about all these different ways that you can enjoy ginger. So experiment with fresh ginger root in your cooking brew, a soothing cup of ginger tea,
Right.
or try incorporating ginger powder or supplements into your routine.
Those are great ideas.
This has been a really enlightening deep dive into the world of ginger. Thank you for joining us, and we hope that you feel inspired to go out and try it.
I hope so too.